Push it and the light will go on. There you go. One of them's a screw. Morning, Charlie.
Okay, we're gonna call a meeting to order. It's 9:01. Do I appoint Keen now or after you do roll call? Okay, we're gonna appoint Keen Hudson to fill in to make quorum. And then Becky, if you can do roll call.
Sure will. Jack Scrogstead,
Here.
Allie Hess,
Here.
Dean Friel, Katie White, Ron Gascoigne, and we've got Keen Hudson
Present.
for quorum.
Okay, we have any public attendees? I don't see anybody or anyone public. But Greg from Reagan Mass Transit did submit a report, so he does have some information there. So if you wanted to ask any questions, you can't because he's not here. Then let's move to the approval of the minutes. There's any corrections of the minutes? Please speak now. Bueller? Okay, they stand as presented. All right, so let's move right into departments and their reports. We'll start with David and Transportation Solid Waste. Would you like us to walk the committee through your report and the county engineer's salary topic that is also on the agenda?
There we go. It's on now. Okay. All right, you can see we got our list of projects here. We plan on accomplishing this summer contract work. Most of them haven't been started yet. Still waiting on that. In fact, some are still in the contract signing phase, but we did get a couple small township hot mix projects done. So got things kicked off. That's a good thing. Get a couple out of the way early. Still working on future projects as well in the meantime before construction kicks off. So we're still working on 2027 projects and getting some of those engineered and estimated. And the maintenance guys are doing their normal things. I guess I could add to the list since kind of started this after I made this report, doing a lot of shoulder work now as well. And we're also in a joint project with the city of Amboy with an aluminum box culvert that just kicked off. So we assemble those things and then we basically work 50-50 getting the thing installed. So that's with the city of Amboy. So number of different things going on the maintenance front, and projects pop up all the time. Yep. As far as board action items go, we got the salary appropriation out of MFT on standard IDOT format to move along to executive.
All right. Any
That's it.
questions? Apparently Ally ran into some construction there on what road is that? 52?
That's not ours.
That's not, oh, okay, all right. That's state road, yeah.
Yeah, state road. Yeah. So
Gotta love Illinois construction time, so.
we're waiting for them to get done so Martin can hop over and get going on some of our stuff. So
All right, awesome. All right, so let's move to the action item. So is there a motion to move the resolution appropriated funds for the payment of the county engineer's salary to the executive committee for inclusion on the county board agenda? Moved by Ally Huss, seconded by Keen Hudson. Any discussion on that? No discussions? All those in favor, signify by saying aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Okay, nothing solid waste then? other than
Other than just continuing.
recyclables still hopping?
Yep. still
How's that
continue-
going? Is there a lot of stuff?
It's normal, nothing out of the ordinary. One other thing I should mention too is, our maintenance staff is on, 410s now per contract.
okay.
So just
I bet they like
working on
that.
that. Yeah, it actually works out great. We tried it last year. It was sort of on trial basis. We've done it now a couple years. It was sort of set up as a trial in the contract. I like it. They like it. You take advantage of longer summer hours where you're out there for a longer period of time. You can get more accomplished at once instead of mobilizing out and mobilizing back 5 times a week. It's 4 times a week. It actually ends up being, in my view, just a bit more efficient.
Right. I agree. Okay. All right. Let's move into the GIS department. Sammy is not here.
Sammy did email stating he wouldn't be here this
Okay.
morning, but his report is in the packet.
Yep.
And if you want, I could give a little bit of an update on the status of the offices,
Okay.
assessment offices as well, because that's next on the agenda.
Okay.
So obviously we're going through a transition within the assessment office. During this time, we are also splitting the offices, where GIS is its own department, not going to be under the umbrella of the assessment office. That was done a handful of years ago, just due to the need for some administrative oversight within the offices, but we do feel that Sammy has the ability to lead that office with his staff, which we are hiring a GIS coordinator that has been posted as well since we lost Logan. So looking forward to that. Been working on that transition with Sammy. He's excited about the opportunity. In the assessment office, as you all are well know, that we have parted ways with our supervisor of assessments, and we are going through a transition there. The gals in the office are doing very well, continuing to move operations forward. We're still on task and on target with everything. We also are engaging a consultant that has been a long time supervisor of assessments for multiple counties within the state of Illinois. And this is what he does for a living now. He works with transitioning offices from townships to counties, across the state. This is a scenario where we want an evaluation of our current operations within the office, what the job duties are, the workflows, as well as evaluation of where our team's at. And right now, we have gotten a great report where our team is at a much higher level than a lot of other counties or townships across the state at this stage, and they feel pretty confident with us moving forward. So going to be working with us on keeping it on task, making sure we're meeting our deadlines with the state, with farmland assessment boards, with the board of review, as well as with our field work and our training of staff and hopefully a new supervisor of assessment, CCAO, in the near future. So we're excited to keep moving forward. Any questions on that update within the offices?
Just want to comment. I think that is a really neat thing to have available out there. And I really like the idea of having someone come in and really almost do an audit in a sense of
Right.
our operation. And at the same time, maybe, those people that might have questions on how things work.
Yeah, I think this is going to be the staff downstairs seem excited about the opportunity to learn more about what each of them do. So there's a little bit more our goal is to have cross training across the office downstairs, where we can continue to have a better, as I said, more efficient and better workflow within the office while evaluating what we currently have, and everybody seems phenomenal. I will say the consultant's name is Gary Twist. He had worked with Wendy Ryerson actually for many years in the same realm, and he had glowing things to say about the county and what Wendy was able to do. So we're excited to get him on board.
Okay. Any comments from everybody else? All right. Thanks, Jeremy. Let's move into the county clerk and recorder. Nancy, you want to walk us through your committee
Sure, good morning.
report?
Just a few things there off of my report. Election Department, happy to say we went from 24 to 19, so we are now down to 19 economic interest forms that are late. Again, it's just another one of those processes that the girls then have to turn around, send them another letter. And then if they do not pay the $15 late fee, then we have to send it back to them to get the $15. So the economic interest process is very complex, but we are down to 19. And then just to recap a little bit, in the election department, I am in the process of working with Susan and hiring a new person to start in the election department. Deb Phillips, my employee of over 20 years, is retiring next year. With her goes 20 years of election experience. So I'm trying to get someone in here as soon as I can to sponge off of her 20 years of experience in that department. The recording department and my vital signs, I am still presently short one person there. I do have an employee that is still on disability. So I will also be looking at hiring somebody in those two departments to be cross-trained between the recording side and the vital side. And I also have a potential of 2 other women in my office that turn that lovely age of 65, so they could be soon retiring. So there's going to be a lot of change going on in my 3 different departments. And then I just kind of broke down there a little bit on my report about what happens in each one of those departments. If you guys want me to go more in depth in that, I would be willing to, but there's a lot going on the second floor, and then the election world. Like I said, they're just doing their checklist, getting ready to roll into this fall with the November 3rd election. And on that note, you have in front of you something that did not make the cut, which is it's a resolution that I have to put together every 2 years, and it's a certified list of candidates for judge of election for the Republican and Democratic parties. This has to be done by resolution every 2 years. And so this will be showing up on Thursday and going to county board on May 21st. There is a list. You do not have the list in front of you because we are updating that as we speak. So we'll be getting that updated list attached to this, so you'll be able to see that going forward. And then just one last thing, which I'm sure everyone is fully aware of, that we are in the process of negotiating my salary and the treasurer's salary at this time. And I just want to give a few highlights on that. The whole state of Illinois is going through the same process that we are here. Their salaries is up for negotiation. Some of the counties have passed a resolution already. A lot of them are in doing exactly what we are right now. It's going to finance, then goes to their county board. A lot of the counties that have already passed the resolution, just want to give you a little bit of an update. It looks like the average is anywhere from 6%. And something else that we learn a lot from the communication of all the county clerk and recorders in an email is that each county does this position, my position, very differently. There are several clerks that they get paid extra money to do the county board secretary. They get an extra stipend for that. Some of the counties, they also get an extra stipend to run the election on election day. So, I guess I bring this up just as, going forward in the future, I really think that this county board needs to dive really deep into what each one of these departments are responsible for. Also, there's probably a handful of counties that have gone to anywhere from 54% to 60% of their state's attorney salary. So there are quite a few counties out there that are getting quite a big bump from that. So just kind of wanted to give you an update on that. Again, it'll be something that's going to be discussed again this Thursday at Finance. Any questions?
Any questions for Nancy? All right. Well, thank you, Nancy. So let's move on to IT. Paul Gorski, you want to walk us through your report?
Thank you. Thanks very much. And I just wanted to note, having been a candidate for county clerk in another county, I have a lot of respect for that office, and I encourage you to support your elected officials with their, some decent raises. So thanks. We did some work in the public defender's office and some wired network runs. We're doing some additional Wi-Fi runs there. I thought we were going to wrap up the state's attorney's computer deployments this week, but then Charlie wants a laptop, so I have to work on that laptop for Charlie. Or Adler Travis will probably be working on that one. And we just had our best intern, Jaron Swigert, leave the department. He just graduated school and he got a job in Galena. So we wish Jaron all the best in his future. And we're just starting a project. We were going to start in new courts, but we're going to start in old courts now. There's still a need for some fax lines in the community, in the county. So we're going to move those from old land-based analog lines to digital kind of online fax services. And that's kind of being driven by some renovations being done in old courts to accommodate Jim Gorman's new space in old courts. And because we're going to be tearing out the panel that has all the old fax lines on it on that floor. So I need to get going on that in the next 3 weeks here. So, and then we're doing some other, there's another project here in the old courts, the retaining wall project, which will require us to pull the fiber run that's coming in from across the street to this building. And we're going to, at that time, relocate it in this building and make it a little bit more secure. And I hope to have that run done by the end of July, because the retaining wall project starts in August. Plus, after talking to Nancy, certain election stuff will probably start ramping up in August. So I just want to make sure there's no interruption to her offices during the critical final months of the election cycle here. And then I'm also working with project manager Brian Brim on the Tyler Technologies migration. IT's, this is the court management system being moved to a new system. And IT's role is largely just coordinating the data transfer from our existing system to the new vendor for their testing purposes. And hopefully all those data migrations and testing will be done so they can do their final rollout in January of 2027. And I just wanted to also note Dahlia's retirement's being mentioned. I joked about it about a year ago, but I'm not retiring anytime soon. I don't know if that's going to be something you're happy about or not happy about. So you'll have to get me out of here by force if you need to. So kind of like it here. So, and kind of in that realm, I've been here about 5.5 years, and have spent quite a bit of time upgrading some of the electrical protection on our network devices. Well, it's come time to kind of invest some more money into that. And so I'll be working with Jeremy and trying to get some additional capital dollars for this cycle, and then put it into the budget for next cycle for essentially devices that'll protect our network equipment and critical infrastructure from kind of the increasing amount of electrical problems we're having, especially in the downtown Dixon area, but also out at the jail. And that's it for right now. We have some other longer term network projects that we're going to be working on, but I'll be putting those into my ask for the upcoming budget year. Does anybody have any questions for me on IT projects? Right now, in terms of, I'm working with, I got to finalize some work for Jim Gorman on some phone routing and some voicemail issues, and then the work on their new final offices in this building, again, state's attorney's office. And then we're still wrapping up a few computer deployments and network upgrades out at the jail. So, and we got an ongoing issue out at Highway where twice a week they have a hiccup with one of their servers. So right after this meeting, I'm going to start building them a new one. So, but any other questions? Any questions for me?
Any questions?
Oh, I did want to note, you might have heard in the last week, or so that, and it didn't affect us, but about 8,800 colleges, schools, and universities, their online teaching platform was compromised, hacked. And the platform was called Canvas, and it's hosted in Amazon Web Services. And the reason I bring it up is that because you would think that $1 billion company and company that has that many clients, 275 million students and faculty participating in that Canvas online learning system might have better cybersecurity protection, but they were hijacked. They're being ransomed, and the systems are back online, but their information was compromised. And I bring it up only because one of my primary focuses or goals here is improve the cybersecurity here. And I know sometimes some staff and elected officials and department heads think it's an imposition for some of the things I might ask or we might be moving into. But when $1 billion company can get hacked, it obviously can happen to smaller organizations too. So I'm going to continue with cybersecurity upgrades, cybersecurity training, and I'm hoping that Lee County doesn't become a news item in that regard. So, thank you.
Okay, let's move on to ROE. Chris, you want to walk us through your report?
Thank you. It would be easy for me to talk for quite a while about my recent trip to Spain and Portugal, but I want to be respectful of everyone's time, so I'll just kind of sum it up, but I will hang around afterwards in case anyone has any other questions. That picture, it's on the front page of our report. That's our group. We had regional superintendents from Texas, California, Illinois, Nebraska, Indiana, Connecticut, I think I said California already, and New York on this group. So it was a pretty good collection of regional superintendents from across the nation. Very blessed to get to go on this trip. A couple of key takeaways from the trip. We currently do K-12 education better than both countries. I learned that pretty quickly. Matter of fact, Portugal and Spain did not let us into any of their public K-12 schools, which I thought was interesting to me. But I understood, because I think that we would have seen that we're doing things a little bit better here and are pretty advanced in serving kids. We did get into a K-12 magnet school in Spain. There's 22 of them. And they were very nice schools. I would compare it to Dixon or Sterling or any of our large unit districts we have here in our 3 counties. But the principal did let me know that those clientele that go to those schools have families that are pretty connected financially and politically. So it seems like, I don't know to the extent that Spain and Portugal give equal opportunity for education across all economic classes, and they didn't get into it too much. But one area that they are doing better than us in K-12 education is in kindergarten, they start English. It's mandatory, and by the time they graduate in Portugal, students are fluent in English and Portuguese, and in Spain, obviously Spanish and English. And everyone I met in Europe, it was an awesome trip. I feel really behind because I used to speak a lot of Spanish and I don't use it as much, but everyone I met spoke at least 2 languages and most people 3 languages. So it was kind of neat to meet people and learn about different cultures. The other area that they are kind of killing us in is their university system. They've got a pretty good state university system in both countries. You graduate from high school in those countries, and in Portugal, it's 700 euros a year to go to college, which is about $900 US. And in Spain, it's 1,700 euros a year, which is about just under 2,000 US to go to college for a year. It doesn't matter what your degree is, doctor, engineer, teacher, it's the same price for everyone. Spain's pretty strict. If you fail a class, your tuition doubles and you have to take it again. If you fail it again, your tuition triples and you have to take it again. And then if you fail it a 4th time, you're done with college or your ability to go to the state system. And they also don't allow like career development or changing your major. If you're 2 years into a program and you decide you don't want to be an engineer, you want to be a teacher, they say fine, and you go back to first semester freshman year and start that 4-year program. They don't do a lot of gen eds. They're pretty focused on the pathway in the university programs. Some takeaways from the trip, some things I'm excited about. The European Union is way ahead of us in AI. I learned that pretty quickly. They have very detailed AI policies for their universities, for their schools, And we got to look at some of those policies in this group. We've got another Zoom meeting coming up next week. We're going to start to look at that and see what we can learn from their policies to bring back to our schools. Because quite frankly, here in Illinois, the state's pretty much left it up to our school districts, our superintendents and our principals and attorneys to figure out the best AI policies for their schools. So we're going to do some more work with that and see what of their policies we can maybe take away to help our schools here. Also, we're going to have some opportunities, I think, certainly by next summer, not this summer, but high school students in our 3 counties will have the ability to go over to Portugal and Spain for 2 weeks and stay at one of the universities. They do exchange programs in the summer. It gives students a chance to experience the culture, learn a little bit about the university, and we have sponsors set up for that. So I'm excited to maybe give our students here, the 3 counties, some international experience, and then we're going to be working on teacher exchanges, where a teacher from Spain or Portugal comes over here for a semester to teach at one of our schools, and we arrange for one of our teachers to go over to their country for a semester and teach. So those are things I will continue to work on, and we'll have a good chance of certainly getting the student exchange and teacher exchange developed and going. Couple other highlights from my report. It is that time of the year where we recognize excellent educators in our K-8 schools in Whiteside County, and that's through the Jen Banks Award. A lot of people may remember, may not remember. She was a teacher and school improvement coach who passed away in an automobile accident in December of 2015. And every year we give educators opportunity to nominate people that are just doing a phenomenal job in the classroom at the elementary level. And I'm excited to say this year we'll be recognizing over 60 teachers in Whiteside County with that award. So we've been pretty busy with that, getting the nominations in and the recognitions that are set up for these teachers that are definitely deserving of it. Our office did get another grant. We put in for the Universal Newborn Support System Feasibility Grant Study, and we were awarded that, which we're excited about. We're always focusing on any areas, more support we can give to families with newborns across our 3 counties. And with this grant, we're going to kind of focus on a planning and listening phase, gathering input from families and assessing existing healthcare and childhood services, strengthening partnerships, and looking for any gaps where we can maybe fill in or do some better servicing of our early childhood population. The state of Illinois has announced the new Illinois Department of Early Childhood that affects 2 of our programs directly. Our Parents as Teachers program, and then our preschool classrooms, our Preschool for All expansion classrooms, now will fall under the new Illinois Department of Early Childhood. I'm hoping things go smoothly. Usually when the state creates another level of bureaucracy, it tends not to. But we did find out that our programs that have been very successful and helped a lot of people in our area, a lot of young children, are going to continue to be funded next year. So we're happy about that. We'll continue to work to make that transition as easy as possible. We're still moving along with our Recovery High School planning. We had an event here in Dixon last Thursday. You might have saw it advertised, where we had the principal from the oldest Recovery High School in the United States here from Indianapolis. He did a meet and greet over at Basil Tree and brought some students with him from their Recovery High School. And it was nice to get to meet with them and talk to them about the school and why it's been successful. And then I know they did a screening of Generation Found over at the Dixon Theater that some people had a chance to go and watch. So we're in that planning phase right now. We do need to raise a considerable amount of money, but the group of people that we have working on it, I think will have a good chance of getting that money raised. And then the other thing that we're doing right now, we've got the criteria put together on when a school district could refer a student to the Recovery High School. Now I have to get that out to all my high school principals and superintendents and do a survey, so we can get a handle on how many students they think would be referred to the school. Because if we get the funding and we get this thing built and we're all ready to go, it's the students that will keep it running. I mean, that's how we fund our alternative schools, is through the EBF funding from the state and tuition from the schools. So we'll get a handle on those 2 things and continue moving forward with that planning. And hopefully it won't be this fall, but by the next fall, we would look to have that new Recovery High School open in Rock Falls. Our career pathway programs, we were one of the first in the state to start that program, and all these years later, we're still rolling. We just had 45 students earn their education pathway endorsement, and then we had 65 students that were in the health science pathway endorsements. Most of them that want to be nurses graduated with that endorsement. So that was another big day for us. Our Parents as Teachers first year program is wrapping up another year, and they do have a year-end celebration at our office every year. We have 11 students now that will be turning 4 and will not be part of the program anymore. So they'll have a celebration for those families and students as they exit the program. And education outreach, we're going to have a ton of students get their high school diploma this year. They're wrapping up the year. If you look in the report, there's 11 students that only have one test left to pass and 3 students who moved from 2 tests to their final test. So done a bunch of work, and we're going to have another successful graduation here at the end of the year. And then our Center for Change Alternative School in Rock Falls, we just keep growing and growing. And this year we're going to have 28 graduates moving from 8th grade to high school, and then also high school seniors graduating. So that'll be a big day for us this Friday when we have those events. Any questions about my report?
Oh, got a lot going on.
Yeah, it's been busy, but it's been awesome.
It's awesome. Well, I guess it's good to know that, we're doing better in some places.
I can only speak for Spain and Portugal because those
Yeah.
were the 2 countries I went to, but we do a better job here in the US of making education available to all children, regardless of their economic status.
All right. Any questions for Chris? As always, Chris, thank you very much for what you're
Yep.
doing. All right, Veterans Affairs, Jim
Morning.
and Bruce, you're on deck.
You have my report from last month for
I do.
our activity in the office. As Paul kind of touched on it, we are in the new building.
That's
We-
awesome.
We are
It's awesome.
temporarily right behind this room right here in the old jury room. It was a great move, quick move. They told me Monday morning that we were going to be moving sometime last week, and Thursday morning I walked into opened my office. I had a desk and no chair. So I said, what's going on? And they come in and move the desk, and we're up and running in the new office here. So it's a great move. As Paul said, there were a few glitches, but those are minor. That's big thing is that folks know where we're at now again, and happy they don't have to go security and undress to get through to come to see us. So the elevator is a great asset. So just looking forward to the remodel downstairs on the 2nd floor, and we'll be ready to go. And Bruce did some, I guess, call it out-of-pocket training. He visited a few counties for a couple of days to go through with their VSOs, see how their counties operate. So he's going to let you know.
All right.
Yes, so I shadowed the VACs in DeKalb and Peru. It was great to see how, their offices were structured and how they operated, and gave me some insight on how we're going to be able to set up our office and run ours. I was able to navigate the different systems that they use for filing the claims. We had it already narrowed down to 2. And so I got to navigate those and see how they operate. And we pretty much figured out which one we're going to go with. It'll be completely digital. All the files will be kept digitally to help us, maintain HIPAA compliance and stuff like that. And to avoid the issue of having a lot of things that we have to hold on to according to state law, for FOIA requests and stuff like that. So pretty much all the filing system will be digital. Even the signatures and all that will be done on a tablet digitally. So that way we can just save it right on the computer, and there won't be any need to print anything. Well, very few things anyways. After the training that I go to at the end of Reno, it'll still be probably 6 weeks or so before I have all of my credentialing done. I'll have to file for the access card. It's called a PIP card for the VA system. And then there's a couple other trainings that I'll have to do that are just small ones online, nothing substantial, but it's just a process to get your VA accounts established and everything. They told me about 6 weeks or so. I can still file claims in that time frame, and I'll be relying more on the client to bring me their service records or VA health records and stuff like that versus me being able to personally access them. Overall, I mean, I think we've narrowed down a few more things we might need for the office, some scanners and stuff like that. But overall, once the office is remodeled and we're in there, I think we'll be able to hit the ground running and take care of some people. Pending any questions, that's all I have.
Any questions for Bruce? No? Got your feet wet?
Yeah. It was a lot at first, a lot of information to take in, it was like trying to drink from a fire hose, but
Yeah.
but networked a lot and met a lot of people that are willing to help, you know, once we get started and everything, and, you know, very willing to answer questions and assist, so.
Well, it's awesome. Glad we got you here to do this for our area. So perfect. Any questions for these guys? All right. Thank you guys very much. All right, let's move into zoning. Alice, would you walk us through your report and 3 petitions and the resolution you have on the agenda?
Sure. Good morning. We have petition number 26P1660 that will be going to the hearing officer on May 27th. The petitioner is Prairie Brome Solar, and they are seeking a special use permit for a 180 megawatt solar energy facility. This is also located on the east side of the county, west of Stewart Road, north of Perry Road, south of Gurler Road, and east of State Route 251. Going to the Planning Commission, I had left the paragraph in as a place marker, and I did not come back. So you can disregard what is going to planning. I may possibly bring a petition forward to correct a few discrepancies that we have that are a result of some recent changes that we made. So I am trying to get that together, and if I am able to, that will go to the Planning Commission in June. There is nothing coming from the zoning hearing officer this month. And then coming from planning, we have the 3 petitions related to the wind, solar, and energy systems regulations pursuant to Illinois Public Act 104-0458. It took 2 nights to get through the public hearing. The Planning Commission had questions about whether they could add a requirement for a phase 1 environmental study post decommissioning. I consulted with our state's attorney's office about that, and they believe that it isn't more restrictive than what the state is requiring. So we are putting that in there. The Planning Commission unanimously voted to recommend all 3 petitions. Other action from the zoning office. Yesterday, we issued the building permit for Wusong Solar. That's project on Pilgrim Road. So they are going to start construction here. And we are still working with Meadow Solar to issue their building permit. Lastly, we have started implementing the use of iWork within our office. So the board members are going to start receiving their communications from the zoning office regarding new petition hearings via email. What I have done is I've sent a sample, or actually it is our current Prairie Brome Solar petition to all of your emails. I don't know if you want to open it up right now to see if you can navigate the email, access the documents, and see if you have any questions. Have you had an opportunity to do that?
Yes.
Okay. Does anyone have any questions about what that process looks like? When you get that email, the email subject is going to say Lee County Project, and it's going to have the project number. It's going to contain the petition information, the parcels where it's located. But when you open that email, you'll see a little link that says click here. Do not click here. Ignore that. As a board member, what you'll want to do is scroll to the very bottom of the email, and will see a bunch of blue hyperlinks. You are able to access any of those hyperlinks that are in that email. Feel free to click around and become familiar with what everything looks like. If you're receiving it, then you have the ability to look at it. So don't be concerned about, should I be opening this? Should I not be? If you're receiving it, you have the ability to look at it. Additionally, a couple new things that we're also doing with the software. So this is the notice that is going to be posted out at the site. What we've added now are QR codes. So this QR code is going to take them to the county webpage that has all of the project documents on it. The petition, the copy of the notice, anything that has been submitted so far that we can add. Additionally, there is a QR code that they can access the meeting. So they can scan this code and save it in their phone, and then the night of the meeting, they can access the meeting by Zoom. So we're going to continue to try to play around and see what else this program can do for us. And anyone has any questions, please feel free to reach out at any time. Jared's been very, very important part of this process, and he's also very well versed in how this software works. So he is also available for questions.
I think this is, save a lot of time, get more information out there, literally at a click of a button. I'm going to say a lot of people have their cell phones with camera attached to it. It'll take them to that website. So this will make them,
Jared
Make it
has
much
spent a
easier.
lot of time looking at it from his cell phone to make sure, it does look good for the public, that they can navigate it. So if you do come across something and have any concerns, just let us know.
any questions before we dive into the petitions? Okay. So there are no petitions obviously coming from the zoning hearing officer, but there are 3 petitions coming from the planning commission. So is there a motion to move petition number 26 PC 86 with the corresponding resolution to executive committee for inclusion on the May County Board agenda? Moved by Ally Huss, seconded by Keen Hudson. Is there any comments or any discussion on that? No discussions. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried. All right, so let's move to the other one. Is there a motion to move petition number 26 PC 87, the corresponding resolution to the executive committee for inclusion on the May County Board agenda? Moved by Ally Huss, seconded by Keen Hudson. Any discussion on that? No discussion? All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried. All right, third one, is there a motion to move petition number 26 PC 88 with the corresponding resolution to the executive committee to be for inclusion on the May County Board agenda? Moved by Ally Huss, seconded by Keen Hudson. Any discussion on that? No discussion. All those in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed? Motion carried. Got a motion on for the energy store moratorium. Is there a motion to move the energy storage systems moratorium to the executive committee for inclusion on the May County Board agenda? Moved by Ally Huss, seconded by Keen Hudson. Any discussions on that? All those in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed? Motion carried. All right. No unfinished business, no new business, no executives. So is there a motion to adjourn? Moved by Ally Huss, seconded by Keen. All those in favor? Aye. Meeting adjourned.